Good evening. Welcome to the National News broadcast coming to you live from the National News studio here at Rupavahini. I'm Kasani Balachandra.
I'm Charida Vinipraharachi, and let's move on to the headlines for tonight's news. ₹4.5 billion are to be disbursed under the first stage of the Aswasuma program. State banks to be open tomorrow as well for payments. The government says bank interest rates will decline gradually. Netherlands signs an agreement with Sri Lanka to return cultural artifacts. Cabinet approval to import eggs for the next 3 months. Commodity items export revenue in July exceeds $1 billion. The national television joins hands with the Industry Sri Lanka program, which opens the world to local industrialists. 3 suspects found guilty of the bomb blast which killed 300 persons in Iraq are to be hanged. On to those and other stories in detail now, and starting off with the top local story. State Minister of Finance Ranjit Siyambalapitiya says all state banks will be kept open tomorrow as well to enable the Aswasuma beneficiaries to receive payments.
Under the first stage of the program, a sum of nearly ₹4.5 billion has already been credited to the accounts of the recipients. Aswasuma beneficiary payments could be received through all state banks, including the Bank of Ceylon and the People's Bank.
හොඳයි මේ නැති බැරි අවස්ථාවේ අසරණ මිනිසුන්ට ලැබීම ගැන බොහොම සතුටුයි.
ගොඩක් සතුටුයි කියන්නේ මහත්ය නැතු මම දරුවෝ 3 දෙනෙක් හරි අමාරුවෙන් ජීවත් වෙන්න කරන්නේ කඩේ වැඩ කරලා මම ගොඩක් සතුටු වෙනවා මේකට. අධිපතිතුමාට ගොඩාක් පින් සිද්ධ වෙන වැඩක්.
පුලි වැඩක් නෑ මේ දවස්වල ඉතින් කවුරු එතනත් අවුල් ඔක්කොම අවුල් මේක ඉතින් හම්බුත් එක වඩාත්ම හොඳයි ඉතින්.
මට 15000 කැඩලා තිබුණා. මේ වෙලාවේ ඉතින් ඇත්තටම රස්සාවක් නෑ කරගන්න. එයින් ප්‍රශ්න ගොඩක ජීවිත ඇත්තටම ගොඩාක් පින් මේ වගේ දෙයක් කරපෙක් ගැන.
The payments pertaining to the month of June of Aswasuma beneficiaries in the plantations and rural areas have been credited to their bank accounts today. Large queues were seen at the banks to receive the funds since this morning. Aswasuma beneficiaries in the Polonnaruwa district have also started receiving their payments today. Payments by installments to 1.5 million beneficiaries out of the 2 million identified Aswasuma recipients has commenced. Under the first stage, 689,803 beneficiaries have been selected. With the provision of the first installment, a program to eliminate ineligible recipients is also scheduled to be speedily conducted. The general public have been requested to extend their cooperation in this connection. Complaints could be submitted by calling the Welfare Benefit Board through telephone number 1924. State Minister of Finance Shehan Singh said that the funds are being disbursed pertaining to the month of July, with future arrangements to provide funds for August. He further said that the program ensures consistent and guaranteed benefits without any gaps. Notably, these relief measures are provided alongside elderly and disability allowances.
Cabinet spokesman Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena says bank loan interest rates would decline gradually. He has made these remarks at a media briefing held in connection with the conveying of the cabinet decisions today. Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena said that main responsibility of a bank is to safeguard the confidence of hundreds of thousands of its depositors. He added that interest rates would be brought down methodically in line with the regulations of the central bank. The minister also said that he had discussions with chairpersons of state commercial banks. He added that they told him that the mortgage interest rates has been reduced. The interest rates on small and medium scale loans have been brought down to a low level as 12%. According to the minister, the heads of these banks have also stated that interest rates on housing loans would be further reduced in the future. The state commercial banks are aiming to reduce the interest rates by safeguarding both the banks and their customers. The minister also said that financial analysts have expressed confidence over Sri Lankan rupee value maintaining at a stable level in respect to the US dollar. The minister said that interest rates are determined by the demand and supply in the market. The minister has recalled how Sri Lanka was compelled to turn back fuel ships due to its inability to pay a sum of even $3 million. The same situation had prevailed with regard to gas shipments as well. He also said that financial analysts commend the government for restoring the bankrupt economy within a short period as 1 year.
අපිට ගෑස් නවකට 1 මිලියනයක් හොයාගන්න බැරි වෙලා තිබිලා හරවලා ගියා. ඒ වගේ දැවැන්ත මූල්‍ය සංචිත හිඳී යාමක් තිබුණ රටක්. ඒ නිසා මේ රට මෙතරම් කෙටි කාලයක් තුලදී අවුරුද්දක් වැනි කෙටි කාලයක් තුලදී මේ තත්වයට පත්වීම ගැන මූල්‍ය ක්ෂේත්‍රයේ ඉන්න විශේෂඥයන් රජයට ප්‍රසාදය පළ කරලා තිබෙනවා.
The Cabinet of Ministers has granted approval for importation of eggs in the next 3 months. Minister Dr. Bandulu Gudavardhana said that the Cabinet of Ministers has granted approval for the State Trading General Corporation to import eggs with the objective of stabilizing the price of eggs in the local market. Accordingly, the Department of Animal Produce and Health will call prices from 3 recommended Indian companies. Based on a fixed price according to prices presented by these companies, the State Trading General Corporation will be allowed to purchase 92.1 million eggs for the next 3 months by taking into consideration of the recommendation of the Stable Procurement Committee appointed by the Cabinet.
Sri Lanka's income from exporting commodity items in July of this year has exceeded $1 billion. There's an increase of 2.18% in comparison to the figure recorded in the month of June.
Calculating in monetary terms, the increase in the figure for the month of July amounted to $1,027.2 billion. However, this figure represents a decrease of 11.79% in comparison to the figure recorded in the month of July 2022. The reason for the decline is attributed to reductions in the demand for export-produced items such as garments, textiles, rubber-related produce, coconut and coconut-related produce. The estimated value of service-oriented exports from January to July of this year was at $1,228 million. This is an increase of 17.32% in comparison to the recorded value in the year 2022.
We refer to the recent export performance. We can clearly see there is a marginal improvement in the month of July compared to previous month. We expect things to get positive in coming years, and Sri Lanka must pay attention in opening up its economy to trade and invest under the existing bilateral and multilateral trading agreements, as well as in new trade within the new trade agreements. In addition, Sri Lanka must take initiatives to facilitate trade and investments in Sri Lanka and improve productivity and competitiveness and encourage entrepreneurship in order to expand export. The lasting solution to the current economic crisis lies on export promotion. So Sri Lanka must vigorously promote it, and if you look at the other countries such as Singapore, Taiwan, Hong Kong and some other countries in Africa and Latin America, it is the export-oriented economic policies which ultimately help them in achieving economic development. So Sri Lanka also should not forget this basic fact.
Agreements were signed at the Ministry of Buddha Sasana, Religious and Cultural Affairs yesterday for the return of 6 archaeological items of historical importance taken out of the island by the Dutch East India Company after raiding the Kandy Castle by the Dutch in the year 1795.
These items are presently being displayed at the Rijksmuseum in Netherlands. According to the agreement, a sword with a cover made out of gold, a sword with the cover made out of silver, a golden knife and 2 guns made in the ancient Kandyan kingdom known as Mahatwaku, and an artillery gun believed to have been owned by Leuke Disave are to be handed back. Director General of the Department of National Museums Sanuja Kasturiarachi and Minister Vidura Vikramanayake on behalf of Sri Lanka and State Secretary on Cultural and Media Gune Uisulu on behalf of the Government of Netherlands have signed the agreements.
Historical event, a moment that Sri Lanka has been waiting for ages, I should say, but didn't materialize. Now you all have taken initiative, grateful appreciations. We are very proud to be a part of this. So this is just an icebreaker which will follow by a galore of artifacts coming from Netherlands. And also at the same time, Your Excellency, you all have taken the initiative, and this is an eye-opener for the other nations as well. All over the world, the restitution of the artifacts and what has been taken from those respective countries has been appealed by those countries again and again. But to no avail in some instances, but the Netherlands in a very significant manner has responded not only to Sri Lanka but also to Indonesia, and you have surely shown your class.
It's a special day because we just signed a very important document. We signed the transferring document, the legal transferring of the objects, the ownership to Sri Lanka. And that's a historic moment. We have a shared past and we want to build also together a common future with closer cooperation in the field of museums, collection research, collection management, exhibitions, exchanging knowledge, expertise. So it is indeed the history, shared past, and also common future. That's a priority for us, for the Netherlands. These objects were looted 2.5 centuries ago, were taken away. And you had so many beautiful words also about the common history. But yeah, these objects were taken away. The committee, the Dutch Restitution Committee, the Colonial Collections Committee, together in intensively working with the Sri Lankan Committee, that did wonderful, valuable work together to do provenance research. Each object is studied.
Secretary of State Cultural Affairs of Netherlands, who met Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena at Temple Trees this morning, said that Sri Lanka and the Netherlands have shared past and both countries should act in close collaboration to exchange research and specialist knowledge. She further said that a financial contribution will be made for the construction of a stall to conserve the archaeological items at the National Museum. The State Secretary on Cultural Affairs of Netherlands has also presented to the Prime Minister a map of ancient Lanka drawn by Malthus Jacques van Dier in year 1751.
What are the next steps that we are going to implement related to this process?
Restitution is a priority, but not the only priority, because it's also very important to collaborate, to have a closer cooperation, to exchange knowledge, to exchange experience, to collaborate in the field of museums, in the field of collection research, collection management, about education, presentation, preservation. So we're intending to intensify our collaboration with our experts, and also a collaboration with the committees. They're also closely work together very intensively. So it's a starting point to collaborate, to intensify our collaboration, and also to build, actually, we have a shared past, but we need to and we want to also build a common future and, well, bring the people and the countries together.
Yeah, you came to a very important point, because Sri Lanka and Netherlands, now we have a very strong relationship. Now this relationship is growing with the modern day aspects. So what are the new areas that, especially in the cultural field as well as in other field, according to your knowledge, what are the fields that we are looking forward to enhance our relationship?
I think we can have closer cooperation in the field of museums, in the field of science, archives, and also heritage. I think also design and contemporary art, film could be also a possibility. And today, yesterday and today we also talked about tourism, since heritage and tourism was also connected with each other. So we're gonna develop training programs, and also masters, and also we're going to set with all these cultural institutions and the museums as well set up a cooperation program with each other, and let's see, this is really a starting point. So let's see what helps Sri Lanka, but what helps us as well. So that's exchanging, and really cooperation is based, of course, to this exchange with each other.
And taking a look at the weather, the Department of Meteorology predicts the prevailing rainy weather condition to last till the 2nd and 3rd of next month in several areas of the island. The department further forecasts that dry weather condition in other areas would also continue. The sun would stay directly ahead of the longitudes closer to Sri Lanka till the 7th of next month, with the visible movement of the sun in the right direction. By tomorrow afternoon, the sun would stay directly ahead of Talaimana, Iramiyankulam, Karappukkutti and Palampai. Intermittent rainfall is possible in the western and Sabaragama provinces and also in the Galle and Matara districts. Several rounds of rainfall is also expected in the Puttalam, Kandy and Nuwara districts. Director General of the Met Department, Atharu Kannanayaka, said that in areas where rain prevails, a somewhat decline in the temperature is expected. This is mainly due to filling of the environment with clouds accumulated with water vapour. Removal of the silt from the Udavalava reservoir affected by the drought is to be taken place according to the request of the farmers. A discussion in this connection under the leadership of the Ministers of Agriculture, Irrigation, Mahavalley, Wildlife and Wildlife Conservation was held at the Mahavalley Ministry yesterday. Further action is to be taken after the evaluation of a 3-day field study conducted by the relevant officials. It has also been reported that the Kattakadwa reservoir is filling with water due to supplying of water from the Chandrika Bava. Police Special Task Force protection has been provided to the main supply canal of the Chandrika Bava. Our correspondent says Bandaragam in Kalathara district has received heavy rainfall this morning. Rainy weather condition has been prevailing in Galle since this morning. Dry weather condition affecting Palmadul and Ratnapura has created a serious drinking water problem. Depletion of water level in the Kirindiyalla has been the reason for this situation. The Palmadul Pradesh Sabha is distributing water using bowsers.
And meanwhile, the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation and the Industrial Development Board have embarked upon a new program today. The objective of this initiative is to upload local industrialists to the latest technology and to direct them towards an export-centered production economy. The new project has been named as Industry Sri Lanka. Chairman of the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation, Dr. Prasad Samarasinghe, and Chairman of the IDB, Dr. Saranga Alahaperuma, have signed the agreement at the Ministry of Mass Media today. The other signatories to the agreement were Chief Business Officer of the Sanasa Life Insurance, Kennedy J. Mitchell, and Personal Manager of the Commercial Bank, Dil Akshan Hettiarachchi. The new program will engage in introducing local and foreign buyers to market, the produce of small and medium-scale entrepreneurs, creation and encouraging of new entrepreneurs, and to provide solutions to the problems by directing them to the relevant sources. Industry Sri Lanka is a helping hand for newcomers in the industrial sector. Industry Sri Lanka program is scheduled to be telecast over national television on every Thursday at 10 p.m. from the 31st of this month. Minister Dr. Bandulu Gunawardena said that the national television programs would enable to create a new beginning. He added that he believes that these programs would enable to exchange opinions on the uprising and breakdowns in the agricultural sector. He also said that there is a mutual bondage between media institutions within a market of oligarchy. He further said that the situation gives rise to competition. Different groups are included to bring out different things. He has stressed the importance of engaging in new experiments without fear. Minister Gunawardena also said that programs would pave the way to have the attitudinal changes, which is a great achievement. And the final Randoli Perahara of the Kandy Asala Festival is scheduled to parade the streets tomorrow.
The 4th Randoli Perahara is presently taking place. Crowds have flocked to watch the 4th Randoli Perahara tonight, despite rainfall in the Kandy town this evening. The majestic tusk of Vasana of the Ruhunukatragama Mahadevalaya, carrying the sacred casket, stepped on the Sandagala stone at the auspicious time of 7:15 p.m., commencing the Perahara. This tusker was accompanied by Kandula tusker of the Kalani Rajamahavihara, Rajatusker of Sri Dananda Maligava.
And today's Majestic Elephants feature is dedicated towards disseminating information regarding Sri Lanka's final elephant auction. There have been several ways of domesticated elephants joining the generations of elephants in this country. These methods include establishing of elephant yards, elephant auctions and capturing elephants by means of license. The other method of strengthening the local elephant population was through contributions to religious places by the government and outright donations from foreign countries. However, the system of confining elephants into yards had ended by the year 1950. The elephant yard system had ended with the Panamure Elephant Refuge. This place was maintained by the elite class of the country through permission obtained from the government. With the system of putting elephants in an open space, a new method of providing permits to capture elephants had come into operation. The government in this connection had granted permission only to catch elephants, which cause a harmful impact on the lives of the people. However, this permit system was also terminated. Thereafter, the government itself had directly involved in the process of catching elephants with triggered human-elephant conflicts. It was only after this practice that this method of elephant auctions came into light. After the Rasvehara elephant auction in 1986, Sri Lanka had seen its last elephant auction at the Kurunegala Kacheri premises in the year 1991. This auction was conducted jointly by the Northwestern Provincial Council and the Department of Wildlife Conservation. Only the elephants roaming villages tormenting people were auctioned at this instance. Two of these elephants purchased through that auction parade the current Sri Dalada Perahera as well. These elephants are Yakkala Gajaba and Veyangoda Gamunu. Yakkala Gajaba is under the custody of Ranjit Vijayasinghe of Morunavita. This animal is considered to be the biggest elephant in the elephant pool. Gamunu elephant under the care of Veyangoda Ratnasiri Arangalla is regarded as the most beautiful elephant in the domesticated elephant reserve. Gajaba and Gamunu, which caused uproar in people's lives earlier, are now participating in the Perahera without any problem. It was Uduvila Kumarapeli, an owner of generations of elephants who had trained these elephants with ferocious character into a tamed nature. Elephant Vasala, belonging to the Atkandaraja Mahavihare Kurunegala, is another elephant brought from the last elephant auction in 1991, but it is not participating in the Peraharas. Vasala was donated to the Atkandaraja Mahavihare by the then Chief Minister of the Northwestern Provincial Council. There are numerous opinions in the society regarding elephants. Like the Gajaba, another elephant by the name of Vattakya had also caused a tremendous impact on the villagers. The question is to be asked in this regard is what would have happened if these stubborn creatures were not captured and auctioned. In that case, most likely these beasts would not have survived. They would have faced the same destiny of elephants such as Agbo and Maheshakya.
Another group of winners of the Development Lottery Board lotteries were handed over their checks today. Winners of 2 million and 1 million jackpot and the winners of Development Fortune Kapraka and other Kotipati were given their prize money. In addition, 4 winners of 2 million rupees each of the Kapraka and Saturday Fortune lotteries, as well as 3 winners of other Kotipati and 2 Super Bowl lottery winners and a Jayodhar lottery winner were handed over their checks. Along with the 1 million rupees Super Bowl and Saturday Fortune winners, 16 winners of the Lagna Vasana lottery were felicitated with their prizes. DLB General Manager Anuja Ratna were among the officials present on this occasion. A media briefing on the professional life of reputed journalist and a photographer Nick Ut of Associated Press News Agency and a photographic exhibition was held at the government's Media Development Center yesterday. He has made comments on his professional career at this occasion.
the Nepal girl.
Nick Ut is a reputed Vietnam-US photographer. His famous photograph depicting Vietnamese children running away after a bomb attack won the Pulitzer Award in 1973. The same photograph was awarded as the world's best, press photo of the year in the same year. Nick Ut retired from the Associated Press news agency in 2017. He was awarded with the highest award of the US federal government, the National Arts Medal, as the first media personnel.
In Washington, New York, and London, everywhere. Time people prepare to war because my picture. That picture, after the picture, they changed the war. You know, they thought, yeah.
So I'm like questioning more on this Nepal girl picture because it actually had a very moving impact in the war. And also we would like to know what kind of precautions or safety measures do you take while working in conflict zones or other dangerous environments? Like the new photographers also would like to know what kind of safety measures you...
For the new photographer, I've been business more 52 years. After the Vietnam War, I've been in Hollywood. I cover a lot of big story in Hollywood, and you know, my Simon, and I travel everywhere. Until today, after retiring, I'm still shooting all a big history story.
And my final question to you, what advice would you give to aspiring photojournalists who wish to make a positive impact through their work?
Yeah, the journalists today were different, you know. That when the Vietnam War, we had so much freedom to take a picture, a lot of freedom for the story. Today all different, all different today. But the young journalists today is so easy, the camera. They can change everything, by this camera or digital. You know, computer loading. All day we shoot a film, spend more time. I run and write the picture her right away.
And some more local news items in brief. Annual awards presentation of the Pre-Childhood Teaching Training Institute was held at the BMICH in Colombo. Dr. Bandulu Gunawardena, Dr. Susil Premachand and Parliamentarian Mahindanand Alutgamage have presided over the ceremony. A program to enlighten representatives of companies of the Chinese Chamber of Commerce in Sri Lanka on the investment opportunities in the local power and energy sectors was held today under the leadership of Minister Kanchana Wijesekara at the Ministry of Power and Energy. The Supreme Court has ordered today to reconvene 12 fundamental rights petitions regarding the Easter Sunday attack. The petitions will be examined by a 7-member panel of Supreme Court judges on the 15th of next month. The court has issued the order upon consideration of several motions submitted by the groups connected to the petitions. A unique Paptini Devala Perahara of the Sri Mahapaptini Devala of Navagamu paraded the streets last night. The annual pageant is being conducted to fulfill a vow to God Paptini requesting to heal a disease of the cattle. The Perahara is scheduled to end on next Saturday. The event is being conducted under the patronage of Chief Incumbent of the Sri Sugatavimba Ramaraja Mahavihara Navagamu, Venerable Malvane Panyasara Thera. That's it on local news. Stay tuned with international news after this break.
Prima Kutumi.
Welcome back with international news. And Iraq has hanged 3 people convicted of involvement in a vehicle bombing in Baghdad that killed more than 3,000 people and injured hundreds in 2016.
It was the deadliest single bombing in Iraq since the US-led invasion in 2003.
The Islamic State group said that it had carried out the attack. Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani's office did not name those executed or state when they have been sentenced. It said that the executions were carried out on Sunday and Monday. Authorities have reported that Ghazwan al-Zawawi, held the IS mastermind behind the attack, was among those put to death. Zawawi has been captured and returned to Iraq in 2021. On 3rd July 2016, a vehicle filled with explosives was blown up next to a crowded shopping center in Karadda, a mainly Shia Muslim area of the Iraq capital.
Found out that they were fake and served no purpose whatsoever.
Prima Kutumi. Pantamai.
And in your sports news tonight, the Sri Lankan reserve participating in the Asia Cup cricket tournament was declared today. The tournament will start tomorrow.
Dasun Chanaka led the 15-member Sri Lankan reserve approved by the Ministry of Sports. Kusal Bendis has been handed over the vice-captaincy. The batsmen recalled for the team are Pathum Nishanka, Vimud Karuaratne, Kusal Janith Pereira, Charita Salanka, Dhananjaya De Silva and Sadira Samaravikrama. The pace attack has been strengthened with the bowlers Mahesh Deekshana, Dunit Vellalage and Dushan Hemanta. The department is consisted of Matisha Patirana, Kasun Rajata, Binura Fernando and Pramod Madhushan. The names of Vanidu Hasaranga and Dusmanta Chamira, Dilshan Madhushanka and Lahiru Kumara have been removed from the pool due to injuries.
Terima kasih, Pantamai.
And with that, we conclude tonight's English news on Rupavahini. I'm Kasani signing together with